The Clash at Demonhead is an excellent cult classic game for the NES. You'll explore a large open world with light Metroidvania elements as you battle the 7 governors of Demonhead to prevent the detonation of the Doomsday Bomb. The game was developed by Vic Tokai, a Japanese cable television provider that decided to start making games in the late 1980s. They had a few notable titles on the NES, like the Golgo 13 games, the Creon Conquest, and Kid Cool, which is actually part of a series that also includes Psycho Fox for the Sega Master System and Decap Attack for the Genesis. Vic Tokai's games usually had an anime or manga style to them, but in the 80s and 90s it was thought that North American gamers wouldn't like games that looked this way, so the marketing team at Vic Tokai became masters of creating westernized box art. Some of their art may have grossly exaggerated what the game was really like, but it always looked awesome. Clash at Demonhead opens with a quick cutscene that sets up the story. Our hero, Billy Big Bang Blitz, or just Bang for short, is relaxing on a beach with his girlfriend Mary when he is suddenly called into action. Bang works for a black ops organization known as the Saber Tigers, with Saber being an acronym for Special Assault Brigade for Real Emergencies. It seems that sometime after the events of the movie Clue, Professor Plum developed a doomsday bomb capable of wiping out all life on the planet. After terrorist leader Tom Guycott abducts the professor and brings him back to his headquarters atop Demon's Head Mountain, Bang springs into action. The enemy is threatened to detonate the bomb if they sense any military involvement, so Bang will be going in alone. Along the way, Bang will find a few key items, but most power-ups are purchased from a store that he can summon from the pause menu. He'll need to find as much money as possible to afford all of the power suits and special weapons that are for sale. The Clash at Demonhead wasn't a big hit for Vic Tokai when it released in North America in January of 1990. They never bothered to make a sequel, but the game was well remembered, and the title cemented its place in pop culture when it was used as the name of a band in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. In modern times, the game is well regarded by fans and critics alike. It wasn't ranked on IGN's list of the top 100 NES games of all time, but that doesn't make it any less awesome. Modern players that attempt this game will still have to deal with all of the challenges the NES is notorious for. The wide open world can be intimidating. You might be wandering around for hours before you figure out where to go. Also, some of the bosses can quickly obliterate you if you fight them unprepared. But what if I told you the best way to get powered up fast, so you'll be ready for any challenge this game can throw at you? What if I showed you how to get through all 42 of the game's routes? And what if I showed you how to defeat all of the evil governors of Demonhead? Even the big boss himself? Well, on today's episode of You Can Beat Video Games, we'll learn all of that and more. If you're new to the channel, we're doing deep dives on retro video games and giving you the professional strategies that can be used by the casual gamer. Please make sure to subscribe and check out youcanbeatvideogames.com for episode lists, news, and official You Can Beat Video Games merchandise. Let's get started. Alright, Clash at Demonhead. Before we get started, this game does have a password function, and one of the most interesting passwords is if you just enter all 13s. You may be surprised to find that it actually works, and it will start you with a decent amount of equipment, including 3 jetpacks, which is very handy. But there is a weird part to this code. If you take a look at the Hermit's 5 forces, which is in the lower right corner there, you'll see that you have the first, second, and fourth power, but not the third one, which is actually not possible playing the game normally. Alright, well let's start from the beginning. Route 1 is an introductory level, and you'll notice when you shoot these missiles that they explode. If you touch those explosions, you will take damage, so move forward patiently. Down here you'll see a strange skeleton enemy that you'll want to duck to avoid. Hurry to the right. That is actually terrorist leader Tom Guycott, right here in level 1. Well, I guess the jig is up. I suppose we called his bluff, and, well, I hope he doesn't detonate the bomb. It is a little bit strange that he has a normal person's name. From the look of the guy, you'd think his name would be like Skellamaster Zero. But no, it's Tom Guycott. I read that there is a joke there if you speak Japanese, but as an English-speaking person, it's a very strange name. We have several options after completing Route 1, so you want to go into Route 3. Here you need to be careful not to linger in the water for very long or you'll take damage. Now at the very beginning of the game, Bang was relaxing on the beach, but now when he touches water, it hurts him? Yeah, I'm not sure that makes sense. Was it like full of acid or something? This little guy's name is Michael, and he gives us our first objective. We need to meet with a sprite named Fascia on route number 17. Now before we leave route number 3, let's press select to bring up the item menu, and if we have at least $7,000, we can use a shop call. Make sure to touch the shop as it falls from the sky, and the first thing you always want to do when you get in here is buy another shop call, otherwise you'll have to walk all the way to Route 5 to be able to use the store. Let's also buy the power boots for $5,000. They're not mandatory, but they'll be helpful in the next stage. We'll need to summon the shop several times before he'll sell us all of the different items, so we might as well do it once early. We're going to choose route number 12 here, and let's try out those power boots. Also known as the hyper boots, they'll make you run faster and jump higher. If you fall into a pit here, you don't die. You'll just go into a lower level that you'll have to get out of, and that will bring you back to the map, which will make you start the level over again. Over here it seems like we're being telepathically attacked, but we are too strong of a Jedi for that. We can grab a heart up here. You'll see that the hyper boots will allow us to move over the water more quickly and jump up to those higher platforms. Make your way to the right, and over here, that's where Route 17 is, but we want to go to number 14 first, and you'll see why right away. As we make our way to the left, we're going to see a parachute drop out of the sky, and attached to that parachute is a message from Bang's friend Jake. And it's actually not just a message. Jake sent us money. $15,000 to be exact. I'm going to show you a trick later in the video to get a ton of money, but this early in the game, 15K is quite a bit. If you drop down here, there's an invisible enemy that you can kill, but once you take him out, you can grab 3 hearts to refill your health, and if that's not enough to refill you to the max, you can actually drop back down there again and collect the hearts as many times as you want. Once your health is maxed out and you have that 15,000 in your pocket, make your way back to the beginning, and this time we're going to head to Route 17. With all that cash, we can summon the shop, and we want the jetpack, but it seems that he's not selling it yet, so let's just buy another shop call, and then we'll leave. We may need to summon the shop several times before he'll sell us the jetpack, but we want to use it here in Route 17, so we just need to call the shop as many times as we need to. Oh, and this time he decided to introduce his daughter, Sally. Yep, no jetpack this time, so we bought another shop call, and I also bought a superfood, which we can use to restore our health. And we're going to have to call the shop another time. Come on, man. There it is, alright. The jetpack is available this time. Don't forget to buy another shop call, though. That would be problematic. If you have some extra money, buy these Dynafoods, which we can use to give us more force power, but we don't need to use them right away. And once you have the jetpack, we can make our way to the right. You're going to see a very low ceiling over here that looks like it may block our progress, but if you just hold down and right, Bang will easily crawl underneath it. You need to shoot that enemy when its mouth is open, and over here we'll find a heart that can restore some of our health. After we get through this next low overpass, here is the difficult platforming section that we needed the jetpack for. With the jetpack equipped, you'll be easily able to get over this area. If you would fall into the pit below, you would have to repeat this entire level, which would waste a lot of time, so just use the jetpack. You'll also notice that once you're done using it, you can turn the jetpack off, and you'll be able to save the remaining fuel to use later. Pretty nice. Fascia lets us know that the island's hermit has been kidnapped by a boss named Rowdy, and not only is rescuing the hermit mandatory to beat the game, but it also allows us to add 2 points to our maximum health, and it unlocks an entire suite of magical powers that will make the game a whole lot easier. So yes, finding the hermit is priority number 1. As a shortcut, we can drop into the pit, and you can see what happens when you fall into a pit in this game. You come down into one of these caves, and at the end you'll find an exit that brings you back to the map screen. This time we want to return to Route 14, the one where we got all of the money. Head over here to the left past the area where the parachute dropped, and if you need to pick up some extra health, remember that there's some hearts in the cave below, but you should definitely take out that invisible enemy first. Otherwise you might get damaged after you collect the health. Jump back out of the pit, but this time we're going to head to the left. The enemies have a strange, cute look to them in this game, and they definitely remind me of the style from the enemies in Kid Cool. You can certainly tell they're made by the same developer. These items that I'm collecting up here are bars of gold. We'll be able to cash them in for money later, but it's not actually that important that you collect them. You just want to try to stay above the water if possible, but if you fall down in, you can use your jetpack, or probably even the hyper boots to get back out. Touch that face at the end to get back to the map, and this time we're going to head to route number 6. Just drop all the way down to the bottom, and because we met up with the sprite Fascia, we'll be able to touch this statue and enter a hidden cave. We can use our jetpack to easily fly through this cave and grab those bars of gold if you want to, although it is certainly not mandatory. Once you get to the end, you're going to find a door, and when we emerge from that door, we're going to be in a dark forest. There's some very annoying red flying enemies in here that will try to drop down behind you and then attack you from a low level. You'll need to duck down to shoot them, or just try to jump over. Make your way to the right here, and oh no, there's a rogue Pokeball. Watch out for that guy, and continue over here where you'll find a heart. If you need more health, you can climb up the wall and just drop back down. That heart will actually continuously respawn. Up here through the door, we're going to meet our first boss, Rowdy. This is definitely not Rowdy Roddy Piper, which is good because this guy is way easier than he would be. He'll probably hit you at the beginning of the fight, but you just want to crouch down here on the right side and aim left, and you will easily take him out by rapidly shooting. Then we can jump on this platform, which appears to be Wiki from Kid Cool. Weird. And we'll finally meet that hermit. The hermit will give us his powers, which is great. And you'll notice now we have a lot more health. So not only did we get the hermit's power, but we have additional health. Now up until this point we can only have a maximum of 99 force, but now that we've met the hermit we can have a lot more. Our first Hermit Power costs 50 force points and turns us microscopic. The power will wear off if you get hit by an enemy, and strangely, this is the only place in the entire game where you need to use it. You'd think that they would have maybe hidden things in a few spots that you wouldn't be able to reach without the micro power, but they didn't. Kind of a missed opportunity, to be honest. Make your way through this icy cave, and whenever we get to the end, we're going to emerge in a large shaft. At the bottom there is deadly lava, so you want to use your jetpack just for a few seconds to get over to the left side. Once you're climbing the wall on the left side, you're safe, but you won't use your jetpack power unless you're actually flying, so you might as well leave it on unless you have very low health. If you die while you're wearing one of the suits, you will lose that suit regardless of how much fuel was left in it. Once you climb to the top of the left wall, you'll be able to come out here and head over to the left. It's difficult to get across from the right side unless you use the jetpack anyway, so you might as well use it early to fly up the left side. And there's the end, which will bring us to this intersection, and from here we're going to head to Route 4. Route 4 is going to take us back towards the beginning of the game, and is one of the options that we could have taken at the very beginning whenever we got through route number 1, although there was no reason for us to head over this way at that time. We would not have been able to get to Route 35 where the Hermit is. The only way to get into there is to go through Route 6, and you can't go through the secret passage with the statue unless you met with Fascia first. Now that we have access to the Hermit's powers, we want to unlock the second one, which will allow us to teleport around the island at will. To gain access to that power, we need to increase our midichlorian count and build up our force. The fastest way to build up force is to use the Dynapunch item that you can buy from the shop. Now, you can only hold 3 Dynapunches at a time, and each one will only give you 15 force, so each shop call can only get you 45 force. We need 200 force to be able to unlock that teleport power, so that's going to take several shop calls. And while we could use the remote shop calls to do it, that could get pretty expensive, so that's why we're going to head to Route 5, where we can actually call the shop for free. So here in Route 5, we're going to find the free store. This is very important to note if you ever run out of shop calls because you used one and didn't buy another one. This is the place to go to fix that problem. You can also fight these enemies to try to farm some last-minute money. And when we get to the top, we're going to meet up with a strange man. This guy actually has a very good tip though. He says that there's a gold mine that we can find, and we can actually exchange those gold nuggets for money on Route 22. Thanks for the tip, man. Over here, we can use those Dynapunches to build up some force, because as soon as we jump onto this welcome sign, it's going to summon the shop. So here it is, the free store. And this time they're not selling Dynapunch. So this is kind of the problem, and you can see why it can be frustrating to use the $2,000 shop calls to try to build up your force. Once you've used the store, if you wanted to come back, you just need to climb down here and then climb back up again, and that will allow the store to respawn. You can see that the guy with the gold mine clue is gone. We won't see him again. And this time they are selling Dynapunch, so we can use 3 of those. And then once we leave the shop, we're going to go to our menu and make sure to use the Dynapunch. Remember, our goal is to build up to 200 force. We'd ideally also like to be able to buy the Aqua Lung suit, which costs 7,000. So I am going to speed this up. It can take a little bit of time, but those are the 2 things that you want. You need 200 force to unlock the teleport power, and 7,000 to be able to buy the Aqua Lung suit. So I did have to farm these enemies a few times to get some money. And we'll spend our last 7,000 gold on the Aqua Lung. The reason that we needed the Aqua Lung is you may notice that right over to the left there's some water. Well, what is under that water, you might wonder? Could it possibly be that gold mine that guy was talking about? Spoiler alert, it is. Shoot through the mines and watch out for the explosions as you swim through this dark cave in your aqualung suit. You do move kind of slowly whenever you're going upwards, but any other direction is fast. Once you reach the surface on the other side, we can turn off the aqualung suit and conserve its power. We also don't want to die while we're wearing it. And head over here to the far left and drop off the cliff. This is the gold mine. Now at first it's just a health mine, which is nice unto itself, but down here is where the gold is. So you can shoot these rock formations and you'll find gold bars down here. Shoot as many as you can and pick up all the gold bars, and then if you just climb up to the next screen and drop back down, all of those gold bars will have respawned. You can hold a maximum of 99 bars of gold, and to cash in the gold bars, you have to play this kind of stupid mini game, so you get a variable amount of money for them, which certainly seems like it should be illegal. But it's not, that's how they do things here on Demonhead. But the randomness doesn't really matter that much. If you grab at least 50 gold bars in here, whenever you cash them in, you are going to get a significant amount of money, and you can always just come back here later, because we did unlock that teleport power, which we're going to use as soon as we've collected enough gold bars. So whenever you're satisfied with the amount of gold that you have, we can use power number 2, Teleportation. Teleportation costs 60 force points and can only take us back to intersections that we've physically been to before. We want to head back to this one and go to Route 20 this time. We're going to head towards Route 15, which is where we'll meet up with Michael again. So we're going to head to the left. All those missiles are trying to chase us, but they're not going to be able to catch Bang. He's just too fast. 15 seems like a dead end, but it's not. This is actually a very important level. I turned on the aqualung suit here, so whenever we drop into the water, we won't take any additional damage, but it's certainly not important to do. It just might save you a few points of health. Grabbing that apple will give us an additional 10 force points, but 10 force points is not extremely significant. We're going to want to build up a lot more force points later whenever we have a bunch of money for cashing in our gold. With all those force points, we'll be able to unlock all of the Hermit's powers, and we should be able to use them a good number of times as well. First though, we're going to have to meet up with Michael again. There's a magic stone that we need to find to be able to move forward in our quest, but that magic stone will not be hidden until we speak with Michael here on route number 15. We can go to the magic stone's hiding spot right now, and it just won't be there, so we must meet up with Michael. He's going to be right over here to the right, and right near Michael there are also 2 wells in this level that we can go down. They're not extremely obvious from looking at them, but you can jump on top of these wells and press down to go inside. Michael tells us that the magic stone is in some lava on Route 27, and he seems a little bit off this time. I'm not sure what it is about Michael. And here's that well I was talking about. So this one on the left side just has some enemies in it, nothing very important here, but the one on the right is going to be more important, but we're not going to go into it right now. We'll need to come back here later. Once we've met up with Michael, we want to head all the way back to the beginning so that we can go back to the map screen the same way that we came in. Head past the green columns, over to where the water is. Use your aqua lung if you want to minimize damage, or maybe even use a jetpack to just fly over this section. This part's kind of annoying. It's hard to jump from pillar to pillar without landing in the water. So maybe use some powers, or just tough it out and get back to the map. Whatever you think is best. If you die in this game, it's not that big of a deal. The only thing that you lose is force points. You'll be able to continue with everything else that you have. We are trying to build up force points so you don't want to die, but it's not a huge disaster if it happens. Another mysterious letter, but this one's not from Jake. It's from someone named Pandar, who kidnapped our girlfriend, Mary. Ah, man, Jake said that she would be safe. That guy only had one job. Well, I guess I can't be too mad at him since he sent us $15,000. Yeah, he's gonna get a pass for that. But it looks like we're going to have to head over to Route 31 and rescue Mary ourselves. Just keep making your way to the left, and be careful to avoid the explosions whenever you kill these enemies. These smaller ones look pretty safe, but they'll actually drop to the ground and start bouncing around if you avoid them for too long. Over here, time this jump so that you avoid that fire that's coming out of the water for some reason. And just keep making your way to the left. See what I mean? That guy will just start bouncing around. They can be very dangerous when they're bouncing. And there's the end. Now we're at a major intersection. This time we're going to choose route number 16. Route 16 actually contains the chambers of one of the 7 governors of Demonhead, so we are going to have to come back here later to get that medallion. For now though, we're not very powerful, and it might not be the best idea to fight the boss. Instead, we're just going to pass on through, and we'll come back when we're more powered up and take that boss on then. Head on up through the top, and make your way over to the right. Over here, you're going to see a green building. That is the governor's castle. So stay out of that door for now. Just pass on by. And head over to the end of the route. From this intersection, we're able to choose route number 27, and just as he promised, Michael is already here. He says that the magic stone is beneath the lava, but how are we going to get under some lava? Ah, a super suit. That's what we'll need to do. We need to buy a super suit from the shop. We need to use our shop call now, because if we go down into the lower area, we won't be able to call the shop because we'll be underground. There's the super suit, so make sure to buy another shop call, and it's $9,990 for the super suit. But it is required to get the magic stone. So bite the bullet, hopefully you have enough money, and if you don't, you'll need to maybe farm some enemies for $ icons until you have enough to buy that super suit. Press down and A to go through the floor, and this is where we need to use the super suit. It will make you impervious to lava, but it also actually will prevent some damage from enemies, and can allow you to climb up icy walls. Dive down deep here on the right side and you'll find the magic stone. Once you emerge, you can turn off the super suit and climb up the wall on the right side. While you're climbing the wall, you can still shoot, so take out that reject from the Bubble Bobble universe and head on over to the left. Climb the wall up, and once you reach the top, we're going to head over to the right side and move on to the next route. It doesn't actually matter which route you choose here, we just wanted to make sure we could unlock this intersection so that we can use it later with our teleport power. So just enter any route you want and immediately use the Hermit so that we can teleport back to Route 15. We need to go into that second well that we didn't enter before. That's where we'll use our magic stone. Let's just use our jetpack here at the beginning of Route 15. That's going to make things a lot simpler. We can conserve fuel by just jetting from pillar to pillar, and we can try to kill these strange heads. Is it supposed to be like the Cheshire Cat? The enemies in this game are very strange. Watch out for that hard hat monster. And as we head to the right, we're going to see one of the strangest enemies yet. This thing looks like a flying poop emoji. Yeah, there it is. So watch out for those poops. They will sneak up from behind and try to attack you. So shoot any of them that you see dead, and we'll come over here to the well, take out one more poop emoji, and then press down to go into it. We'll fall down to the bottom. You'll see that there's some water, but there's also a door on the right side. Let's go in the door first. We're low on health right now, but these smiling sunshine monsters just fly in a vertical path, so if we stay far away from them, they're easy to kill. It may look like a dead end here, but you can actually climb the wall at the top and jump up through the ceiling to get to the next part. We're going to head to the right over here where we'll find more of those smiling suns. Make sure to shoot them, but if you have a lot of health, it is okay to be a bit reckless right now. We do not have that luxury, so we're going to have to take our time and kill all the suns to move forward. Watch out for that pterodactyl. And keep making your way to the right, picking up any gold bars that you see along the way. We are going to be cashing those in pretty soon, so it's worth picking them up at this point. Keep making your way to the right. If you do have 99 bars though, that's the maximum that you can hold. Michael's waiting here, and we'll need to use the magic stone to open this door with the scary monster mouth. Is this a trap? Yeah, this is definitely a trap. It seems that this demon is the one that was trying to telepathically attack us at the beginning of the game. But because we were resistant to his attack, instead he tried it on Michael, who was a lot easier to manipulate. Through Michael, he was able to manipulate us, and now we freed the demon. At this point, there's nothing we can actually do. You cannot defeat the demon at this point. It's definitely going to be game over. We can simply continue from this point, and although getting killed by the demon is part of the game and a mandatory part of it, it still counts as a legitimate death, and you do lose force points for dying there. So that's a little bit annoying, but the good news is we get 4 health back, so that's why I was saying before that it was okay to be a bit reckless when you were in this cave. As long as you made it to the demon alive, it didn't really matter how much health you had. The only way to defeat that demon is to get the Sword of Apollo, but we're not going to be able to get it right away. The first thing that we need to do is meet up with the sprite Fascia again, but she's over on route number 33, which is up in the corner of the map. The only way to get there is to take a secret passage, but luckily, we're right on top of that secret passage right now. Do you remember the spot where we went into the door and there was that water nearby? Well, if we use an aqua lung suit, we can swim down into the water, and that will take us through to route number 33. So that's what we're going to do now. Equip your aqua lung. Hopefully it has enough fuel to get you there. Otherwise, the aqua lung can wear off while you're under the water. If it does, you will be able to swim just as Bang, but you'll start to take damage. We had just enough aqua lung to get through, and on the other side you'll find a door. Over here there's another cave with more of those annoying sun enemies that move vertically up through the passage. So you'll want to shoot those this time and make sure to clear them. Don't be reckless at this point. There isn't any more mandatory deaths in the game that we'll have to take. Just keep making your way to the right. It seems like it's a little bit easier to hit the floating sun enemies by crouching down. I'm not sure why, but it does seem like I get more accuracy that way. Keep on moving to the right. Grab any items that they drop. We would like to have some more money and also some more power. Yeah, that would be nice. Ultimately though, these enemies can't really damage you as long as you don't move up on them too quickly. Once you get to this door, this is route number 33. These enemies that are falling down often drop items, so it's nice to take them out. That one has a force apple for us, and some of those other ones had money. So kill any of those enemies that you see, and just keep on making your way to the right. Now, Route 33 is where Tom Guycott told us to come and meet him at the beginning of the game, and here he is. Yeah, it looks like that demon that we released actually killed Tom Guycott. This is bad. That demon is way more dangerous than the leader of the terrorists ever was. But what about Professor Plum and the Doomsday Bomb? What will they do without their leader? Is this world still safe? Well, let's see what Fascia has to say. So wait, Fascia knew about the demon? Why didn't you tell us about it, Fascia? Well, over here in Route 39, we'll find the Devil's Tower. That's where we can fight the demon, but we are not ready for it yet. Use your Hermit's teleport power, and we're going to go back down here to the intersection of Routes 6 and 14. We need to make our way back to where we met the Hermit earlier. And you remember how to do that. We touch this statue, and we enter this cave where we found all those gold bars. So just make your way to the left, watch out for the enemies, and grab any gold bars that you see, unless you already have 99, of course. I promise we are going to be cashing those in soon, but we do want to max out our health first. That's our first priority. Heading through this door, we'll be able to make our way back to where the Hermit was hanging out, and our good friend Wiki from Kid Cool is still there as well. Watch out for these flying red guys. And the Pokeball, or is that an electrode? I don't know. Just avoid it. Now if you need more health, you can keep collecting this heart over and over again. This is a really good opportunity to fill up your health. You won't have too many of these in the game. Once you're filled up, go to the top and go through the door. Before we're able to obtain the Sword of Apollo, we do need to talk to the Hermit here. If we don't, we can go to where the sword is hidden, but we won't be able to find it. It seems that the Hermit is still stuck here, but now that the demon has been released, we need to use the magic stone in route number 40. So that's how we can win. Now that we have that information, we can use the Hermit to teleport again, and let's go back over in that direction. Remember, we wanted to get to this node earlier so that we can teleport back to it? Well, that's because we want to head now to Route 37. Those green flying things may seem to be smiling, but they're evil. Kill them. Head on over to the right and we're going to climb the wall to the top. Take out this pterodactyl and jump over to the left. If you don't take out the pterodactyl, it will certainly do you some damage. Climb up to the top. It may be difficult to avoid this missile. We do have a lot of health right now, so I think we'll be okay. Just keep making your way to the right, and now could be a good time to call the shop. We have a lot of money, 23,000, and of course the first thing that we should do is buy another shop call. We're going to need an aqua lung, so we'll pick one of those up, and I also grabbed some superfood so that we can restore our health whenever we get low. Once we have everything, make your way out. You may notice that the shop owner offers to buy our stuff. Well, he'll buy it, but whatever we pay for it, he subtracts $2,000 from. So you can't sell him anything that costs $2,000 or less, and he won't buy any suits that have already been used. So there's really not too many good reasons to sell him items unless you bought a bunch of extra stuff that you didn't need. We're using that aqua lung that we just bought to get through this watery cave. Get past that upside down frog and head past the blue octopus, or is that one of the scrubbing bubbles? In any case, up here we'll be able to choose Route 40. At the beginning of route number 40, we'll be assaulted by some albino men with Fu Manchu mustaches. Take them out and jump from this red well over to where the heart is, and suddenly it will be talking time again. Once you've collected the heart, we can go to the menu and use the magic stone, which will reveal the Sword of Apollo. Once we have the Sword of Apollo, we will finally have 10 units of health, which is our maximum. We are now ready to take on the challenges of Demonhead. Jump off the side here and use the aqua lung to swim down under the water if you want to grab a hidden gold bar. And then make your way to the right. This is actually a secret passage that will take us out onto the other side. Swim on up through and touch that icon to come to this intersection, one that we will certainly want to come back to later. We'll choose route number 21 here, and it's time to use the Hermit again, but we need a little bit more force, so we'll need to use some of that Dyna Punch. If you don't have enough of it, you may need to call the shop and buy more. From here, we want to teleport over to this node. This is going to take us towards Route 22, which is where we can cash in all that gold. Route 23 is pretty close to 22, and the two are connected, so this is the path that we want to take. Head left past the bug-eyed bird monsters. Someone should maybe call the Audubon Society. I think that might be a new species. Well, not if we make them extinct. Clear out as many as you can and touch the icon at the end, which will lead us to Route 24. At the beginning of Route 24, there's a bunch of missiles coming our way. Remember that the explosions can damage you, and we know what to do about these low ceilings. Just hold down and to the left to crawl under them. Once we get far to the left here, we'll need to go down to move on. So just drop down below. In the next area, we can press down and the jump button to drop through some platforms. And these red platforms to the left will slide down whenever you jump on them. So carefully walk from one to the other at the top. Route 22. We can finally cash in those gold bars for a whole bunch of money. Right now we have 74 of them, and the amount that you get for each bar is random. The lowest I've seen is $300, and the most I've seen is $1,000. So we are hoping for $1,000, but it is totally random. Of course, if you've ever sent something in to cash for gold, they just take your stuff and then send you back the money, so I guess it's really not all that different, is it? You'll choose one panel, and well, that was a lucky one. We got the 1,000, and now we have $90,000. This is good. It seems that the commander has sent us a message, and that the operation is over. Is that another trick? It might be. If you only got $300 for your gold bars, that's totally okay. Remember that now that you've been to this location and to Route 5, you can just use your Hermit teleport power to teleport back to where the gold mine is, collect as many more bars as you want, and then teleport back here to sell them. At this point, it's very easy to get as much money as you could ever want. Now that we're fabulously wealthy, let's call up the shop and see what we can purchase. We're definitely going to need an aqua lung to get through Route 28 that we're in right now. So let's buy one of those. And how about a nice jetpack, some hyper boots, maybe a few of these extra guns that we haven't tried out yet. Another shop call would be good. If we can hold it, some more food. No, we have too many of those. And yeah, definitely grab some more of those Dyna Punches so we can restore our force points. We only have 27 force right now, but 3 Dyna Punch will give us enough to do teleport again. Before we get out of here though, definitely use your aqua lung and dive down under the water. Down here we'll meet up with Shark. The first boss will fight to get one of the governor's medallions. Whenever you're rapidly shooting at Shark, you'll be able to actually take out the fish that she shoots at you. So as long as you keep your Aqua Lung on, if it runs out, make sure to equip another one from the select menu. And just keep blasting. You should have no problem defeating this boss and gaining the first medal. And there it is, it's that circle with the Star of David on it. Once you pick up the Governor's Medal, it will restore your health to full, which is very nice. And if you come over here to the left, we can actually find another hidden area under the water that has a few gold bars and some hearts. Nice. We'll make our way all the way to the left, and we'll be back to the map screen. This is another good location that we may need to teleport back to later, but for now, we're going to make our way across Route 19. Going through Route 19 at this point is optional, but I did want to show it to you so that you could see what all the different routes look like. What we actually need to do at this point in the game is get back to route number 5 so that we can summon the shop multiple times without spending any money. Take out these scrubbing bubbles, and then head down below, which will take us to the bottom of Route 19 and the end of it. Once we get to the end, we are going to just select whatever route we want and teleport to route number 5. It looks like Route 5 is actually relatively close to this area, but there isn't any connecting spaces between them, so we will need to teleport to get down there. Once we're down at this node, choose number 5, and of course avoid that skull in the water as you swim across and head to the left. We've been in here before, so remember what we have to do is climb up to the top and head over to the left. That's where we'll see a welcome sign, and that's where we can summon the store for free. What we need to do at this point in the game is just keep buying those Dynapunch items, using them, and building up our force points. If we build up 500 force points, we will be able to get all of the Hermit's powers. So that's how you do it. Right now we only have 78 force, so this might take a little while, but I do think that we have enough money. So remember, all you need to do, buy as many Dynapunches as you can, use them from the menu to fill up your force. You'll gain 45 points each time, and then you're just going to drop down the side and come back to the store and buy them again. Now, once you have over 500 force, you are going to want to pick up a few more items while we're here. So just grab whatever you need. We do have a lot of money, and if you need more money, remember that the gold mine is right over to the left. You can just grab more gold bars and then pawn them over at Route 22. We should have a very nice selection of items right now, and we now should have unlocked all 5 of the Hermit's powers. So we will use each of those as the game progresses, but the 5th power, which requires a lot of points, is probably the most powerful. It will allow you to be invincible for 30 seconds, which certainly can crush some bosses. Now that we are fully loaded, it's time to seek out the remaining Governor's medallions. Tom Guycott lied about there being 7 of them. There's only 6, and we have 1 already, so we only need to find 5 more, but we really only need to find 4 more before we head to the end game at the top of the mountain. So our goal is to have 5 medallions, and over here we're going to be able to get our second one after fighting one of the more difficult governors of Demonhead. This guy's name is Gaz. Gaz can be a challenging boss, so I'm going to show you 2 different strategies that you can use. The first one is to activate our Hermit powers and use that invincibility. It's called Karate Power, and it is pretty cool. It will allow Bang to do these karate kicks while he's invincible. So karate kick Gaz as many times as you can, and while the music is playing like this, you'll know that you're still invulnerable. Keep giving him those kicks. Kick, kick, kick. And if you do run out of time, you should be able to finish him off with your gun pretty easily. Yep, a few more shots should do it, and there it is. The second Governor's Medallion. If that seems just a little bit too easy, a more traditional way to fight Gaz is to try to shoot his projectiles, although it seems like you'll still take damage whenever you do that. So what you need to do is stand, shoot the projectile, and then duck. That seems to be able to protect Bang from damage from the following projectile that will hit him in the head. If you just keep shooting in the direction of Gaz and try to jump over him whenever he flies towards you, like there, although he got me that time, you should be able to have enough health to defeat him. If you do get down to your last point of health, remember that the fourth Hermit's power is called Energizer, and that will allow you to exchange 100 of your force points to fill back up to your maximum health. Well, okay, I was almost ready to use it there. But we were able to defeat Gaz and obtain that second medal. Now that Gaz is out of the way, the next governor that we're going to want to take on is named Max, and he resides over on route number 7. However, if you wanted to see all the routes in the game, there's not going to be any reason to come over into this area ever again, so we should take this opportunity to check out route number 9. Route 9 isn't particularly special, it's mostly red looking and there's some of those scrubbing bubbles enemies. You do have to go down to get through it, which is how it looks on the map, and so that is a nice touch from the developers. Once you touch this green face at the end, we can enter any route that we want and teleport out of here. This time we want to head to this large intersection on the left. So head over here, there's a bunch of different routes you can connect to from this one. But we want to go to number 13. 13 is a one-way route, so we can head through it in this direction, but we will not be able to head back in the same way. Make your way to the left and then drop down through the bottom. You'll need to crawl to get through that overhang. And do the same thing here. Clearly this is designed so you can't get back through there, but the game won't even let you get up to the next screen. You can try to climb up there or even use your jetpack. It just won't even advance upwards. We'll turn off that jetpack and make our way to the left, taking out any of these large monkeys wearing a hat. Why is the monkey wearing a hat? I don't know. Where did it get a hat? Over here, we're going to choose route number 7, and this is where the next boss lives. You'll need to shoot that enemy when the mouth is open. And over here, you will see the governor's castle. Enter the door. It's time to take on Max. Well, Max doesn't look very large and in charge. Max is actually one of the most difficult bosses in the game if you don't know the secret strategy to fighting him. Wait in the middle of the room and shoot him as he bounces over you. Don't jump and you will not take damage while he's in this form. Just keep shooting. You'll need to connect several times and he'll get a little bit bigger. Just keep doing the same thing. When he gets to this size, he'll launch 10 smaller Maxes. You want to kill 9 of them, but leave the last one. Then call up your menu and use a jetpack. You want to fly up in the air and shoot him right in the mouth. If you kill the 10th mini-max, he'll drop down and start fighting you, and he'll be bouncing around all over the place and is very hard to hit. In this way, you can just fly up and hit him a bunch of times, and whenever the jetpack wears off, just take out the last mini-max, and the boss will drop down and immediately be defeated. We've done it. We now have 3 of the medallions. I cannot stress how difficult it is to accurately hit Max in the mouth while he's bouncing around on the ground. definitely use that jetpack strategy. Over here we can go through route number 10, and this one is optional, but we can rescue one of the local villagers from some monsters if we want. We can use the jetpack to easily get over that gap. Would rather not fall down in there and have to repeat this area. And if we enter this door, we can take out these monsters, and this guy will be very grateful. Of course, he tells us that we should visit the Hermit, and yeah, we kinda knew that already. This probably assumes that we might reach this route a lot earlier in the game. Once that guy is safe, there isn't really much else to do here in route number 10, so we'll just make our way to the end. Watch out for these enemies that will definitely keep shooting at us, and we don't really need any more gold bars. We also can't go up in that area, although it looks like you would be able to. Avoid that fire coming out of the pit, and we should be able to go up to the top here, where we will finally find the exit. We've been to Route 8 before, so we can teleport out of here. We have 617 force points, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. The next boss that we need to fight is named Mush, and he is over on route number 16. We've definitely walked past the Governor's Castle on Route 16 before. Make sure to teleport to the top of Route 16. That will put you closer to where you need to go. You can take out these 3 women in bikinis by shooting from the left side of the screen. Their shots will not be able to reach you there, and once they're gone, it will reveal the boss. This guy's name is Mush, and he's going to shoot his mushroom cap hat at you, and that's the only part of him that's vulnerable, so you want to shoot at the hat, and you want to stay on the far left side. So shoot at the hat, he'll shoot it down, you want to duck and shoot it, and then when it goes off the screen, you want to run to the right until it dives down. So run to the right, when it dives down, you move back to the left. Then continue shooting the hat. Don't bother shooting at the boss itself, that won't deal him any damage. You can only damage him by hitting the hat. And with that, we now have 4 Governor's medallions, only 2 to go. The last medallion that we need to collect before heading to the final stage is held by that demon that we need to have a rematch with, so that one's not going to be easy to obtain. Before we go over and fight him though, there are a few optional routes that we can try, including Route 31, where we'll fight an optional boss, the Pandar. We can use our Aqua Lung to quickly swim through this area. Once we're out of the water, we won't have to go very far before we'll be back to the map screen again. So just make your way over to the right and drop down below. The color scheme will change a bit. It was kind of nighttime when we were in the forest, but now it's a bright sunny day. This is going to lead to the right side of the map, and other than the triangle in the upper right that's removed from the rest of it, there is no real need to actually ever go into this part of the game. It's optional, but we're going to check it out anyway. And the first optional route that we're going to go to is this one, number 32. A few of the governors that we already killed mentioned our friend that was defeated by Tom Guycott and is lying down in a ditch somewhere. They're talking about Joe, another member of the Saber Tigers that was sent ahead on recon. Here in Route 32, we can launch a rescue mission to save him. It's totally optional, but Joe does have some good information for us. Before we head down below, let's call the shop and grab a few more items. Remember to always pick up an extra shop call whenever you call up the shop. But once you have all the items that you need, we're going to drop down below. There's a whole bunch of missiles down here, but we need to go down farther. Joe is way down deep in Route 32. Watch out for that strange thing that drops bombs on you, and these killer pink bees. They'll speed up when they get nearby you. Just keep making your way to the right and then drop down below. Those two propeller heads won't pose much of a challenge. And all the way at the bottom, this is where we'll find Joe. He's not in good shape. Although we said he's okay. Well, that Tom Guycott guy, he's dead. But what we need to do is still find the royal medallions. They're our only chance of stopping the bomb from exploding. No wonder Tom Guycott gave them out to only his most trusted governors. Speaking of his most trusted governors, the optional boss that we'll be able to fight over on Route 31 is not one of them. He wasn't trusted enough to be given one of Tom Guycott's royal medallions, but he is a boss that we can fight if we want to. We'll use the hyper boots to move quickly and get back out of Route 32, but once Joe's been rescued, there's nothing else we need to do here. So just quickly run out of the pit, hurry back to the left, climb the wall, and do your best to avoid the missiles, although we just want to get out of here at this point. Now we can head over to Route 36, and Route 31, where we'll fight that optional boss, is that dead-end route that you see in the middle. In this one, we just want to make our way to the right, and we will be able to climb up to a higher level at some point, so just keep heading over. Oh, that guy is really knocking me down into the water. That was pretty obnoxious. Head on to the right, watch out for that explosion, and here we can climb on up. Up at the top, there's a big guy that's not actually that hard to defeat, just shoot him a few times. And over here to the right, we can take out a couple more of them, but that's all there really is to Route 36. Not a very difficult one. Oh, a heart, nice. We could use a heart at this point. And here it is, Route 31 with the optional boss. I'm not sure why the developers bothered to make this entire section of the game and then made the whole thing optional. They could have easily made this one of the bosses that you had to defeat and just increased the number of medallions that you need. I'm not sure I understand, but hey, if you want to skip this part, totally can skip it. But if you'd like to fight an interesting optional boss, make your way all the way to the left where you'll find an area that you can climb up to the top. 31 has a pretty lengthy left-going part though, so watch out for the missiles, avoid the explosions, and just keep pushing on until you get to the end. Here it is, the tower. Take out these monster faces that are sort of like turrets, and just keep working your way to the top. Climb all the way to the top here where we'll find the door, and before we go in, let's use some food and maybe even call the store to make sure that we are in top fighting condition. The boss here, Pandar, is not the most difficult boss, but also is a lot more challenging than Rowdy or Shark, so a nice middle ground. This is also a very interesting boss, so I think it's probably worth the trip just to see this one. When you get inside, we see our girlfriend Mary is being held hostage, but it's a trick. She's going to start shooting at us, and we're going to have to defend ourselves. Rapidly shoot at Mary until we get the next talking time. Fool, you killed your girlfriend. Yeah, we're not that dumb, Pandar. Come on, man. Once the battle begins, let's try out the third hermit power, levitation. You can also use a jetpack, but this is a good opportunity to try out that levitation power. So we'll use our hermit's forces, choose number 3, and for just 80 points, we'll be able to fly until we're hit by an enemy. All we really wanted to do was get up onto the platform so we can shoot one of the two bosses, and that causes them to form the actual Pandar boss. Pandar will just stay in the middle of the screen and will make a bunch of heads. You want to shoot as many of those as you can and make sure to shoot the bottom head to deal damage. The heads will be launched at you, but if you clear a bunch of them, they probably won't hit you very often. Once Pandar is defeated, your health will be refilled, although you don't get a medallion, and we can head on out of this optional stage. Once we get to the end of Route 31, there is one more optional route that we can take to complete the circle here, so we might as well jump onto that and check it out. Try to avoid hitting those explosions. If you're running too quickly, you will definitely take a lot of damage in this game. It pays to be a little bit patient and don't be too reckless. There it is, we're back to the map. Let's check out route number 29. Route 29 looks pretty serious. It has a similar aesthetic to a lot of the other routes that had bosses in them, so you may expect there to be a governor's castle somewhere in this one. There's not. We're just going to head on to the left, use the jetpack to get over some dangerous gaps, and whenever we get to the end, it's probably going to be time to teleport to the next location where we actually need to go. You may remember where the demon lives, over in the Devil's Tower, which is in that triangle of routes in the upper right corner of the map. We should be able to teleport over to route number 33, so once we get through 29 here, that's where we're headed next. Just climb up to the top. There's some turrets to take out. And just head over to the left whenever you're at the top. We're almost to the end of 29 now. And there it is. Touch that icon to get out. We'll choose route number 37, but once again, we are going to teleport. It's the easiest way to get over to that triangle of routes on this right side. Now, we could go right to route number 39, but we haven't seen the other side of the triangle yet, so let's jump into route 33 and take the long way around to the left. We'll go past Tom Guycott's governor's mansion. Sadly, we never had a good chance to fight Tom Guycott. He was just a fake final boss. We'll use up our hyper boots and head over to Route 34. This one is a sandy desert and has a bunch of sand monsters that try to come out of the ground and eat you. As you head over to the right, you'll see what I mean. You want to just jump over that mouth whenever you can. So when you see it coming, jump straight up into the air and head to the right. You should be able to avoid those, no problem. And when we get to the end here, we will loop around to Route 39, which will take us to the Devil's Tower. Now, we actually needed to get to the other side of Route 39, so we will pass through this part of it, which looks a lot like Route 34. If you teleport to the top of the triangle and just head to Route 39 from there, that is the more direct route to the tower, and will take you to the other side of this formation. Climb to the top of the Devil's Tower, and right at the top you're going to find a heart, and if you drop off the screen, you can keep collecting it multiple times until your health is fully refilled. The demon is the most dangerous boss in the entire game and can kill you very quickly if you don't have full health. Make sure you have a full bar before you jump up on top and press down to enter. If you hold to the right, you can grab some goodies before you drop down to the bottom, and down here you just want to rapidly shoot at that small ice giant to take him out before he can throw the rock at you. The demon is the most difficult boss in the entire game. You can't even use your invincibility power because you need to use the Sword of Apollo. Make sure to equip it as soon as you get into this room. The game will not let you equip it outside of here. You need to attack the eye part while moving constantly to try to avoid the energy balls that it shoots at you. The most important thing though is that you don't touch the eye itself. The energy balls will deal you 2 damage every time you get hit, but if you come into contact with the eye, you may take multiple hits and could take 2, 4, 6, or even 8 damage. I highly recommend if you ever fall to 4 or less health, that you immediately use the Hermit's 4th power, the Energizer, to restore your health completely, just in case you take a bad hit. You'll lose a lot of force points anyway if you die, so you might as well use them on the boss. Once he's defeated, you'll be able to get his medallion, and when you come down here, we'll find out that the demon had a whole clutch of eggs. Well, we better destroy those. We certainly don't want a bunch of demons to be born into the world. Once the eggs are removed, you'll go through a passage and you'll emerge in an icy cave. Heading to the left here is going to take us all the way over to Route 38, which is close to the end of the game and very near where we need to go. We can use our jetpack to quickly go across here, and at the end, we're going to need to climb up an icy wall, so you could either use the jetpack to fly up there, or you can equip the super suit, which will allow you to climb ice. When you come out the door, you want to take the path upwards. Once you get up here, you'll head over to the left and climb the wall one more time. We only need 5 medallions to move on to the final level, but we do need to beat one more boss. His name is Bopper, and the reason that we have to defeat him now is that we'll have to fight him again in the final level, and if we don't beat him the first time, he won't be there later, and we will need to fight him that second time to get the 6th and final medallion. From here, we can take route number 30. We should probably just use our jetpack here. There's a lot of empty space that we can fall into below, and would rather not have to start this level over again. Once you get over to this point, climb down below, and you're going to want to head over to the left. Be careful of the fire that comes out of that gap. You'll want to time your jump to get over it, and then just continue on to the left. We'll need to use another jetpack. Luckily, we have a bunch of them, and we have more money. We know where they sell those things. Route 21 is where we'll find the final boss we need to face before we can move on to the end. This is the realm of Bopper. Enter this door and you'll come down into another chamber, take out the turrets and move on to the right. Make your way down below here. Once we get to the bottom, we're going to find a door in the lower right corner of this area. That's going to take us into the boss. Bopper isn't very difficult to beat, especially with all the equipment we have. There's a number of strategies that will work, but what we're going to do is use the Thunder Shot. The Thunder Shot is the most powerful sub-weapon that they sell at the Super Shop. It costs a lot of money and you don't get a lot of ammo, but it's like the spread gun from Contra. If you keep shooting it towards Bopper, you'll clear the fireball projectiles that he shoots at you, as well as damaging the boss. You don't get a lot of shots of the Thunder Shot, so when it runs out, just finish him off with your standard gun. It shouldn't take too many hits from there. Once Bopper is defeated, we don't even get our health refilled, which is pretty annoying. You'll just have to exit the room and climb up on the right side. Bopper let it slip that headquarters is at the top of the mountain, and when we touch this icon, we will have access to route number 42. However, whenever we climb to the top of this, you're going to experience a problem. This is actually the wrong way to get to headquarters, and you'll see why in a moment. At one point, we're going to get to a spot where there's a purple monster, and that guy will not let us progress any farther up the mountain. So whenever we get to him, he's just going to block our progress. How do we get to the top? Well, there's actually another route number 42 that's across the way from this one. And there's that purple monster. You just can't pass him. So instead, we're going to use our Hermit Teleportation power and head over to the other side of the mountain. We haven't played any of the routes at the bottom of the mountain here, so let's do some of those first. We're going to come down to this lower intersection, but you may have access to one that's closer to the end. Let's check out route number 41. Route 41 is the last route in the game other than the final stage that we haven't visited yet. We can easily get through it using the jetpack, but our health is very low. At this point, we have two choices. We can either eat a bunch of Ultra Food, and then use shop calls to buy more Ultra Food until we're happy with the amount of health that we have, or you can use the Hermit's fourth power, the Energizer, to just restore your health to full. The Energizer path is the easier way to go, but I do want to show this alternate strategy for refilling your health because it is viable. At this point in the game, we have a ton of money, and we can always go back to the gold mine and then sell our gold in Route 22 if we need even more money. So whatever we want to buy from the store, we can have at this point. Once we have enough health, we'll be able to move on to route number 38, and whenever we get there, we've actually been to route number 38 already, so we're just going to teleport out and head up to route 42, but this time on the good side of the mountain. The final level is coming up. We have enough force points now to refill our health 3 times, which is way more than we're going to need. The final bosses in this game are much easier than the ones we've already beaten. We've been to this intersection before, so let's use our teleport and make our way to Route 42 on the right side. Head on up. We'll use our jetpack to get up through. And we're going to need to get another one. We're running low on jetpacks, so we probably should use a shop call to get some more. We are going to need to use the jetpack to get to the final area here. Of course, whenever we need to get a jetpack, they don't have one for sale, so we'll need to buy another shop call and summon the shop one more time. It's nothing more than an irritation at this point in the game. I understand early on when they do that, but I don't think they should cut off the items at the end. It's not like we don't know we can just call the store again. Make sure you have everything that you need, and once you're done, we'll make our way to the top. The summit is nearby. Up here we can use our jetpack to fly on up, but we are going to need a jetpack moving forward, so if you don't have an extra one, you should probably just stick to the platforms here. There's random monkeys just falling on us. I don't get it, but it is interesting. Climb up to this screen. We're so close to the top. Head over to the left and climb just a few more ledges. The summit is in sight. Well, there it is. Maybe there's no camp at the top? Yeah, of course there's a camp at the top. It's behind the clouds. Just keep on flying. And when we enter this door, it's time for the rematch with Bopper. Bopper knows that we don't have all the medallions because he has the last one. We had equipped the Rolling Star weapon before this fight, and if you have it, you'll notice that it can go through this platform, but Bopper's shots won't penetrate it at all. Using this weapon, you can stay safe while still attacking the boss. Now, if you don't have any Rolling Stars, you can also use your Super Suit. The Super Suit will actually absorb the damage from Bopper's gun, although it will use the fuel from the suit to do so. You won't have any more use for a Super Suit at this point in the game, so if you have any of those left over, now is a great time to use them. With the last medallion in hand, all we need to do now is rescue Professor Plum and shut this doomsday bomb down. Let's try out the Powerball weapon. You can see that it goes along the ground, which can be very effective against certain enemy types. We're close to the end of the game now, so we might as well try out some of these guns we haven't already used. And here in a cage is Professor Plum. Unfortunately, he finished the bomb already, and whenever we ask him how to disarm it, he explodes. Man, they must have put some kind of failsafe on him that if he tried to divulge the information on how to disarm the bomb, that he would die. Well, your sacrifice won't be in vain, Professor Plum. It's time to fight the final boss. You can use the Thunder Shot, the Jetpack, or the Levitation power to take out the pink ball on the right side. The one on the left side is a lot easier to remove because you can climb the left wall and attack it from there. But you cannot climb the right wall, so you will need to have some sort of strategy to take out that right ball. Your standard gun is not going to cut it. And once you destroy the antenna in the middle, the final boss is defeated. Now all we need to do is defuse the bomb. Unfortunately, whenever this guy dies, it's set up to set the bomb off. That is very, very bad news. Climb the wall on the left side. Let's use this micro recorder. There's 2 endings in the game, so now is a good time to get your password. If you'd like to see both endings, you can do the first ending and then use your password, and you'll come back to this point and you can see the second ending. The endings are obviously a good and bad ending, and you will definitely know which is which. And it seems that there is an alien over here? Aliens created humanity? Giorgio Sokolos may have actually used this game as a reference for Ancient Aliens Season 3. Did extraterrestrials create this video game to send their message to the world? Ancient alien theorists say yes. Well, at this point, there's a final puzzle. You'll need to use the medallions to disarm the bomb, but if you just wait here for a while, we'll be able to see the bad ending. It's actually pretty easy to solve this final puzzle. You'll notice that you get a ton of time to do it. As the clock ticks down, let's talk about how to actually solve the puzzle. We need to put all 6 medallions into the bomb, but we need to put them in the correct order. However, once we put in all 6, the game will tell us if we got any correct. So it will only leave us the ones that were wrong to work with. So what we're going to do is just quickly put in all 6, move 1 space to the right, and then put in them all again, move 1 space to the right, put them all in again. We should be able to do it in just a few cycles. Well, that's the end of the timer. Let's see that bad ending. Here's a flashing pattern warning. And that's it. The end. Yeah, the end of all humanity. Let's do it for real this time. So just quickly put in all the medallions, move 1 space to the right, and put them all in again. It only took us 3 cycles to finish it that time, and it usually won't take you very many more. They give you plenty of time to solve the puzzle. The only way you can really lose is if you panic. And that's it. We've done it. Just make your way up the stairs and push up on the door. We've beaten Clash at Demonhead. Now it's time to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the cheesy ending. Interestingly, it seems that Bang is going to make a game based on his adventures. So was this a true story? Ancient alien theorists say yes. The ending is a short one, but it does tie up some loose ends. It seems that Professor Plum didn't blow up. He actually escaped. The Professor Plum that we saw detonate in front of our face was a fake. Well, that's good news. It seems that the mission wasn't a bust. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a bust. The world didn't explode, and we stopped that demon. It actually seems like it went pretty well. Well, I hope this video was able to help you finally beat Clash at Demonhead and stop humanity from destroying itself once again. If it did, make sure to give it a like, and make sure to subscribe for more videos, because there will always be more doomsday devices to disarm, and that's why we'll be back again next week with another video game you can beat. Thanks for watching.